Welcome everybody, it's SoccerBeat, it's Peter du Toit, and I've got Cheezboy Mokoena. How you doing, Cheese?
Sanbonani, dumelang ko hai mo kaofela. Mkhuleni yo Peter.
Hey, I can't give as good a headline as that, but always good as greeting. But I'm well, my brother. All the better for seeing you, and all the better for seeing all you guys out there. You look fantastic. You look better than Cheese. Listen, we've got Orlando Pirates versus Polokwane City. That's our big game, and this game, I think, is a game that's going to tell us a lot about Orlando Pirates. Really, because Polokwane are an experienced side, guys like Cole Alexander, top players like Apollos. I think this is a game that's going to say where Pirates are. And Cheese, I don't know what you think. I think when I looked at Pirates against Chippa, I saw some very good signs that Orlando Pirates, their attitude has changed from the last 2 seasons. There seems to have been an attitudinal change. I don't know if you've spotted that.
Yeah, I've spotted that, Peter, because they just couldn't get through the line. Last season, they'd get a draw there and there, not really having the edge to win the game, And I've seen this season, they're actually leaving a little bit of games a little bit late. I don't know whether it might affect them later on in the season, but it just shows you that they have that character. And I saw everybody being so happy after scoring that winner when Saleng scored. Everybody was like, whew, finally we get over the line, And I think it's something that maybe they might have looked at, the technical team, checked last season's results, and I think they've put that onto the players that we need to get the job done, guys, in the 90.
So I think that, my opinion is that similar to yours. I think that management didn't make wholesale changes. The maturity of that squad has improved. The coach is getting a little bit more out of them now, letting them believe, listen guys, you can score goals, you play until the last minute. And I think the big thing for Pirates this season, you'll see an attitudinal change. And for me, the critical things that you look for, things like leaving it late and the reaction to when they leave it late. So they've got that in them. But the critical thing is, the next step from this is an attitudinal change. Does that attitudinal change turn into a winning mentality? We know Sundowns have got a winning mentality. Pirates have got a cup mentality. Winning the league mentality is a completely different ball game. Do you think they can develop into that? And obviously they've got to develop it in from day one. You can't play catch up when you're playing against Sundowns.
Yeah, I think it's something they can grow with. I think as the cup champs in South Africa, I think they've done extremely well. They just need now to take that attitude and heart and bring it to the league games, because the league is a marathon, it's going to take a bit of time. But if the mindset is right to actually move that performance that they have in the cup, just treat every game like a cup final in the league. I think that should actually help Pirates to pull through a bit, But I'm not sure about them being consistent, because if you're leaving the games up until late to actually score a winner, sometimes it's going to be difficult to actually break those locks and actually get a win, and that might be a bit of a disappointment. And the schedules and the games coming thick and fast, how are they going to manage that is going to be very key.
Yeah. So again, I think this critical point that you make there is that Pirates players, I think this season, Orlando Pirates fans, players, and management and coaching staff have got to realize that Pirates are actually not playing only against the opposition this season. They're actually playing against Mamelodi Sundowns. Every game is against Mamelodi Sundowns to a certain extent, because one thing Mamelodi Sundowns have got the know-how to win the league. All those players have won big things. They understand they understand the rhythm needed to win a league. And Pirates, none of those players, if I can think of it, have won a league at any club, a top league. So that's going to be that's the big ask. Have they got that mentality to stand up to Sundowns, go with them toe to toe, game per game? That's going to be the real thing. In that side, though, I know they haven't got players that have won league titles, but in that side, who do you see as the guys that are the players that have got that? Listen, guys, we'll get everybody over the line. The kind of John Moetis from the old days, guys that can drive everybody there. Who do you think in that current lineup has got that in them?
I think when I look at the Pirates lineup and the players that they have, are you looking at a Hoto that has been so excellent, and he's one of the coach's soldiers. I've seen Dai as well. Dai at the back there, he's really solid. You're looking at your front three there that really has to be deadly this season for them to win the league. So if you're looking at a Saleng that might be injury free, don't drop in terms of his performance. Maswangai also needs to get into that scoring positions. He needs to score, because sometimes if Mabasa is not going to score, then who's going to get them the goals? Yes, Saleng is there now and then, but if because last season he dropped a bit of his form last season, and it just didn't help the team. So this season, if he can be more consistent, have Mufukeng also getting onto the score sheet, I think the more goal scorers they'll have, I think it will make their job a little bit much more easier trying to reach to win the league.
So what you're really saying is that Pirates basically, they've got to look at something else because they don't have the players who've done this before. They've got to look at all the players playing at a top level throughout the season on a consistent basis. And that's big ups there has got to be to Jose Rivero, who's got to make certain this exists. But he's got a big enough squad to make those little changes as well. The player that you mentioned, though, started flying after a poor season last season is Saleng. He looks the part this season, in my opinion. You?
Peter, I spoke to him off season. I spoke to him with their boy. For that club, for this one, you need to now refocus because I felt like at some stages he lost focus last season because he was no longer in the team. You know, he got because that was his cry that I'm not playing. I remember before them playing a cup final. I think it was the Nedbank final before they played the Nedbank final, if I'm not mistaken. We went there as a Pirates Masters. I met him after the training session. He looked down, but they didn't select him for the game at the weekend. And I asked him, why are you looking so upset? He was like, no, I'm not in the team. I'm like, but no, probably the coach is saving you for the cup final. And that's what exactly happened. And he got there and he gave them the result, you know. So sometimes it's a mental thing where you need former players to try and help these players that go through these patches, you know, because as a footballer, you are going to go through a rough patch. Your teammates are not going to help you. So you're going to have to help yourself. So if Saleng can stay focused for the season, I think he'll be very key for Pirates.
Geez, I think Jose's got to get you in there as a man motivator, man management in the Pirates squad. Because if you can get Saleng going from last season's form to this season, then you should be doing. We need you to speak to Tito, Mofokeng, all of them. So I'll give Ivan a call and say, listen, get him on the job, guys. We're going to take a quick ad break and be back to you shortly. This ad, I really recommend you watch it. There's a good chance to win a lot of money. See you soon.
Betway is giving customers a chance to win big with their 4 to score free weekly prediction. Simply predict the first teams to score in 4 Betway Premiership matches and you could win 50,000 Rand. Scan the QR code on screen now to enter. Get way more with Betway. Standard T's and C's apply.
And welcome back. Talking about getting Pirates over the line, there's a lot of matches to be played this season. Pirates haven't really rotated their squad. They've got this new term periodization, where Sundowns have already rested players, rotated players. But Pirates have got an equally, maybe not equally as a bigger squad, but they've basically got 2 players per position. Yeah. The one thing they've got to watch out for is burnout. Or the opposite end of it is, if you rest players, you can lose form when you're rested. You can lose the rhythm. Which way would you go?
I think as the modern game is today, I think most coaches like to keep to the core, same lineup most of the time. And sometimes it does affect them in the later part of the season. That's where you need the players that are not playing now to be ready mentally and be ready that come the second round of the season, they need to jump in and carry from where the other guys have left off, So I'll agree with coaches keeping the core because this is the time where you want to get the results in the bag and you want to keep the continuation. So no problem with that. But it's always going to boil down to the player management. How is the coach going to manage the players throughout the season? Are they going to play 10 league games, including the CAF, including the cup games with the same lineup? I don't think so. I looked at a Sundowns team that played the CAF. They marched through with the 4. They came back home. They changed the whole lineup, to give other players a run as well because they are going to need the players. Maybe with Pirates it was a bit difficult because they came with a 1-0 result, which was a little bit on the edge. I think the coach had hoped that he probably gets a lot of goals so that he can give other players a chance, So in the long run it might affect them, but like you said, they have a big squad, but not as big as Sundowns. But are the players going to be ready mentally to fill in those shoes? Are they not going to sulk that we are not playing the first games? These guys have been playing all these games and now the coach wants us to step in. So it's very key that the players that are not playing now remain focused for the season because Coach Rivero is going to need them either way.
Good. Cheese, would you have liked to be rested and rotated, or would you want to start every game?
It depends on the game because it depends on the match or the fixture that you're coming up against. If I can make an example, if you have a cup final coming up next week and you have a couple of knocks, maybe with the last game, and there's a league match in the week, Now, do you play the same players that you're going to play in the final at the weekend? No. So I would normally enjoy my rest when I know that the coach is going to use me for the final, give the other players an opportunity as well. So I don't think there's any player that likes to sit out, but just to look at the freshness of the team and just to keep everybody happy, I think it's very key that the other players understand that the same soldiers that you are with are the same soldiers that you will be in battle with. So you are going to need them either way.
You know, it's interesting, Cheese, when I played professionally in South Africa, and it's a long time ago, it's in the 70s and 80s, so it's a different world. But we only had squads of 18 players. We probably played almost the same amount of games, and people will say, well, the game is a lot faster and so on and so forth, but our game was a lot more physical. We played on poor grounds where it was harder to play. So I wonder
elbows. You guys were elbowing each other, biting each other's ears off.
Tackles from behind. So I wonder if it's a change of how we look at life. But either way, that's where we are right now. Incidentally, Mourinho also, he preferred an 18-man squad of players and then the rest youngsters. And if you look at it internationally, you never see Vinicius being rested. You never see, obviously De Bruyne was rested, but he's injury prone. You don't see players that don't get injured rested. Van Dijk never gets rested. Salah never gets rested. Mane, I don't think, may have been rested once or twice. But you see players like Nunes not playing, but those guys are actually being dropped because for reasons not. So I always wonder if when a coach rests you, is it because does he really? Messi never got rested, Ronaldo never got rested, and those players would not want to be rested. So it's quite an interesting phenomenon. But let's take a quick ad break, and we'll get back to you talking about Polokwane and Apollos and how he will react to not getting his move. See you shortly, guys.
You see, it was this game that turned boys into giants. Even today's aces inherited the name from those who came before. Usabutha lo mulilo, buzalwa abaziyo, bazokutshela, lisegazini forever.
Welcome back, guys. Good to see you still with us. Appreciate it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share, and follow us on all our social media platforms. So, Polokwane, Danger Man Apollos. First of all, he's going to go man against man, Van Rooyen. He's just newly signed Pirates. It's a Cape Town clash. I've got my views on this. I think there's only one winner in this one, by the way, but let me hear what you think.
I think a battle to watch. I've never seen actually Van Rooyen having a winger that will probably take him on, because Apollos will probably cheat a bit. So Van Rooyen is always going to be up the flank as a coach needs him to. How is he going to deal with that? I'm very interested to see. With Apollos as well on top of his game. It's gonna be a good matchup. I can't wait to see that battle. But I'm gonna give it to Apollos because I'm an attacker myself. So I'm sure he's got something up his sleeve. If the coach only allows him not to track back, but if he's gonna have to track back with Van Rooyen, I think Apollos will be out of the game.
I think you're spot on, 100%. If Apollos has to track back, there's only one winner, and that'll be Van Rooyen. If he, inverted commas, cheats, as you say, then it's going to be difficult because then Pirates are going to have to pull one of their centre backs wide right to protect him. But don't underestimate Van Rooyen. I think watch the first tackles in the first 5 minutes. I think that'll tell a lot about what's going to happen. Tell me, head to head, if you look at the numbers, it's interesting. Yeah. Pirates have won 8 games. Polokwane have only won 2, but there have been 8 draws. This is not a game that Pirates can afford to drop 2 points in a draw.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about that, Peter, because, looking at the stats, there's just been a lot of draws. Yes, Pirates has got the upper hand with the 8 wins, but it seems like they don't get it easy over the line against Polokwane. So that's going to be very interesting in terms of how they're going to approach this game, knowing that they could play a draw with Polokwane. They've played a lot of draws with Polokwane, and Polokwane as well have started off well this season. 2 wins in the bag. They're scoring goals. They scored 2 in the first game, 2 in the second one. So it looks like a team that's able to score goals. On the other hand, Pirates has been conceding. So it's going to be a challenge. Are we going to see another late winner by Pirates? I still have to wait and see about that. But they're playing a very difficult side in Polokwane. It's not going to be an easy game. As much as the name is Polokwane, but if you look at the personnel, they got a Colin Alexander there, they got a Puleng Moremi, they got Matuludi on the right there. He's been flying down that wing and servicing. So, yeah, interesting matchup for Pirates.
By the way, you mentioned Puleng. Just before I give you my comment, Puleng was a player that I thought, I mean, he's older now, but he to me, he was a super player, had potential to go all the way. Quite surprised that he didn't end up at a bigger club. I think one time Chiefs will look at him as well. But what did you think of him as a player? I'm a big fan of his.
Look, I've played a couple of times against him. Always a nightmare in that 10 position. You know, he knows how to position himself and can score goals. He scored in the last game now. And I think with him not able to move to a bigger club, I think it was just about fear, man. Puleng too much kwababa. I think he was scared for that move, you know, because sometimes you're going to come up against quality players, you know, you're going to have to fight for your position. It's not given, you know, but obviously at Polokwane, I think he's more comfortable. He knows he's going to start every game unless he's injured or suspended, you know. So I think as an individual, he did not want to stand for the challenge. He should have just went for the challenge, because I once told him, I said, hey, my guy, where you are right now, yes, you're doing very well, but I think now in order for you to get to the national team, try move to a bigger club, and the offer's there, and unfortunately he denied.
Yeah. Listen, Cheese, I hope you haven't upset him and that he turns in a top 10 performance against Pirates. But anyway, although he probably won't start, he'll probably come on. Cheese, let's hear your prediction for the game.
I'm going to give it to Pirates 2-1. I'm going to give it to Pirates 2-1. Yeah.
So I think this game will go, I'm going to give you two predictions here. So you guys can hold me to this. I think Polokwane are going to play exactly like Chippa and frustrate Pirates. They break quicker than Chippa, by the way.
Yes.
But they don't have an Andile Jali to score a wonder goal. And if Polokwane score first, I think I'll go with your prediction that Pirates will win 2-1. But I think if Pirates score, I've got a feeling Pirates are going to score 2 early goals and they'll win this game 4-1. Now, I know it sounds outrageous, but I really think this team has got goals. You're laughing. I'm being serious. If Pirates score early, 2 early goals, I see 2 early goals coming, and then obviously Polokwane are going to have to go at them. I see goals in this Pirates team. The way they're playing wide, I think they are really getting that ball wide. They've got a different style this season. Last season, they were everything intricate through the middle, kind of Barcelona style. This season, they're not afraid to go wide and get crosses in. Mabasa has made a big difference by being the big boy up front. He knows how to hold it up, and he attacks the ball well. I'm really confident about Pirates in this game going forward.
Yeah, for sure, Peter. I'm sure everyone is probably rooting for Pirates, but hey, don't count out that Polokwane. They'll probably be coming there for a draw. Polokwane will be coming for a draw. But like you said, they're very good on the play out, you know, in the transition. They're very good, very quick. If Pirates score first, they tend to relax. You know, I've noticed the Pirates where when they concede, now you start seeing, you know, the energy from the players, the supporters now, you know, as well. Because it seems like sometimes they just go into the half like, okay, let's see if we can score. If we don't score, we don't score. But once they concede, and you have the supporters here in the backs, mamela. Then now the ship is sailing. Now you see them sailing, looking for goals, making runs. You know, the effort is there. So, yeah, interesting fixture ahead, Peter.
My message and you can give a message to the Orlando Pirates fans. My message to the Orlando Pirates fans, guys, is hear what Cheese is saying. I believe the attitude of the Pirates players has changed. But Cheese says they're going to relax mode after they score. It's your job, Pirates fans out there at the stadium, that if you see them relaxing, up the noise and warn them, no relaxing. Cheese, your final word.
Thank you. To Mapagania, fill up the stadiums as you have been filling them up, because I think that's been a one hell of a boost for the players. I think that's why Bashama Kolung am last minute, because you guys are here. So from the first minute, I call it Vuvuzela, Ingoma Aisha Mapagania, and yeah, may the best team win, by the way. Kamina Kawena, Peter, it's a give and take, you know.
Cheese. I love you lots. Guys, thanks for being with us. Look forward to you again. There's a lot of football this weekend. We got Kaizer Chiefs Amazulu on Wednesday, which we'll preview as well. I've got a special guest coming on a preview of this particular game, Mushin Grill. So lots to talk about and lots to see. Love you guys. See you again soon. Here's Cheese. You're the man.
Cheers.
You're the man.
One love. Kamina Kawena.